I have a lot of influences when it comes to drums because I'm a child of the 20th century and I listen to a lot of different kinds of music. But my main influence is Tony Williams. And Tony Williams is one of the Magnificent Seven. And the Magnificent Seven really shape how I listen and play the drums. The Magnificent Seven are Art Blakey, Kenny Clarke, Max Roach, Elvin Jones, Philly Joe Jones, Roy Haynes, and Tony Williams. In 1975, Return to Forever played in Central Park as part of the Schaefer Music Festival. And we played at the Woolman Skating Rink. And the Woolman Skating Rink held 7,000 people, which was a lot of people for us. It was pretty amazing. We had for us to play in front of a crowd that big. And word got out that Return to Forever was playing there. And they broke the fences down. And so there was about 12,000 people in Central Park to come to see Return to Forever, who did not have a lead singer, who did not have a hit song on the radio. But like all of these people came to see this band. And at that point, I knew that what we were doing was something special. Back in the 70s, there was much more of an edge happening. I mean, there was an edge happening in all kinds of music. Pop music had an edge, you know, jazz music was changing and morphing. And so it was a thing about being creative and being expressive and challenging. Everything was challenging. And like, if you were not being challenged by the music, then the music was not cool. So groups like Return to Forever and Mahavishnu Orchestra, Weather Report, you know, the Headhunters, these were groups that were really pushing the envelope and like taking different kinds of musics and morphing them together. So that creativity, that was really high level of creativity around that time period. Today there are people still doing those things, but you don't really hear them. And hopefully we can get a platform to hear that music or hear the creativity like that again, because that's what I believe is really needed right now. I think the difference with Jamaica Queens and what makes it unique is that there were a lot of different kinds of musicians that come from Jamaica Queens that play different musics. A lot of jazz musicians lived in Jamaica Queens, that migrated to Jamaica Queens, famous jazz musicians, so jazz is prevalent throughout Jamaica Queens. But then we also played all different kinds of musics. I mean, like, there was R&B, funk, and all these different things. So there was a musical style with Jamaica Queens. But I spent a lot of time in San Francisco. And in my time in San Francisco, I got to meet Mike Clark, Mike Shreve, Dave Garibaldi, Greg Arico. And I just saw how they played this different funk thing with a 16th note and these ghost notes. And I guess it was called the Oakland sound, Gaylord Birch also. And spending a lot of time in San Francisco, Dave Garibaldi, seeing him play with Power, and just hanging out with those guys, I just heard a different approach. I kind of brought that, what I saw was happening in Oakland, back to the East Coast, and I did it my way. And today, still, I do have that different thing that I heard them do, and I apply it in how I play it today too. There wasn't a time where I wanted to quit, ever. But I had a problem, a physical problem with my spine, and it compromised me and my direction and how I could play. And it was a really troubling time for me because I had played for most of my life and I had to now find a different way to play. And it was a major challenge. It happened right when Return to Forever got back together to play in 2008. And so I had to go through extensive rehabilitation. And what kept me really going is the fact of what my love for music was and still is. And there was no way that I was going to quit or stop playing. And I just had to find whatever it is, whatever way I could do and change my viewpoint about playing and how to play, because I couldn't stop. It was something that I'm here to do. And the motivation that I got was just from the aspect of me knowing that this is what I'm here to do. And sometimes, you know, you have to think about all the positive things that music does and you're able to do with music. Sometimes that'll bring you along.